What up, everybody? Eric here with driverlineup.com, world's okayest steering wheel holder, as your host. Chilling out at in front of Barnes & Nobles, actually. Jenna is in Barnes & Nobles. I got so much sleep today. I went to Oasis last night for a meetup and didn't drink like I did in January, but drank enough to where I wanted to sleep today. And it still hadn't quite caught up on sleep since we've been off the truck. But we are in Springfield. Didn't do a video yesterday, and I've got a couple videos lined up that are coming at you guys here in the next couple days. But I did want to relay some information to you guys because I've seen a lot of questions on the cost of a truck when financing through Success Leasing, when going through Prime Inc. to do a lease purchase. And I've seen some seemingly misleading commentary out there about how you're gonna get an extremely better deal if you go directly to a dealership to get a brand new truck, a Peterbilt or Freightliner. And I wanted to know what the numbers are. I told you guys I was gonna release some numbers after I get the truck. So when I get the new truck, well, both the trucks, Freightliner comes in September, but when we get our Peterbilt and I can start seeing things in the settlement, I can really give you guys a breakdown of what our fixed costs are on a weekly basis for both trucks, both the Peterbilt and the Freightliner, because we'll be running both under our own fleet. But I don't have the new truck yet, so I can't give you that yet. We are doing a 3-year option on both trucks. And so let me talk about that first, and then I'm going to give you the total purchase price excluding the interest. But the reason that we're doing the 3 years is because of the interest. The interest is the kicker. It's the real, it's where it's like if you draw it out on the full 3 or 4 years, you can choose 3 years or 4 years when you do a lease purchase through Prime Inc. 4 years is going to bring your weekly payment down, but because you're paying for 4 years, you're going to pay a substantial amount in interest. The interest rate on both the Peterbilt and the Freightliner through Success Leasing is 10.75%, and that's not just a one-time 10.75%. That's an accruing, ongoing, rotating, whatever, and annual APR, whatever you want to call it. That 10.75% is going to continue occurring through the life of the financing, which is 3 or 4 years. So that's where it's really going to bite you, and so you have to keep that in mind. 10.75% is the interest or the finance charge when doing a lease purchase. Can you get a better deal on the financing through a bank? Yes, you can. And I actually called on this. Now, a couple things to keep in mind. My rate was not, and I have good credit. I have really good credit. But the rate that I was kind of seeing with my credit was not substantially lower than that. I mean, it was, well, it's substantially in that it's a ton of money, but it's not like my rate was like 3%. So, you know, you have to take that into account. 10.75% is a lot of interest. But you also have to take into account that your deposit and no credit. Like if you have no credit or you have bad credit, there's no credit check to buy, you know, a truck that costs you almost $200,000, a brand new truck. Think about that. That's what a lot of homes cost, especially here in the Springfield area. So you're buying something that costs as much as a home with no credit check. So the 10.75% interest rate is probably a really good deal for a lot. It's a good deal for me. I couldn't put, as I was finding out, between $40,000 and $50,000 down on a truck to purchase through a bank, through a dealership, to buy a new truck. That's what it would have taken. And I would have had to have, there's a lot of hoops you have to jump through, like years. You gotta have years of business documents and just all kinds of paperwork that you have to have in order to get a bank to finance you for a commercial vehicle. It's not easy. And if you think it is, go talk to Ross Johnson, because he didn't have to finance that much, I don't believe. But, well, I know he didn't have to finance that much. But still, I saw him working this process from my own house. It's not easy. So you're paying a higher interest fee, but you're getting a lot of conveniences and you're bypassing a lot of inconveniences and a lot of troubles and hurdles and challenges by going straight through Success Leasing. So that's the first thing that I want to point out, is that you do have that 10.75%. If you take the 4-year option, you're going to be paying a lot more in interest. I would suggest you consider staying away from that 4-year option. And in fact, I would suggest that if you can, you try to pay that truck off sooner than 3 years, because you will avoid interest. And I did confirm, now these numbers are coming directly from Success Leasing. I sat down at a desk yesterday at Success Leasing and got these numbers straight from the source. So this is not me just making up numbers or ballparking. I have the exact figures. You can pay that truck off earlier. You could pay that truck off in a year, and you would avoid 2 years of interest. So not only do I recommend you not take the 4-year option, I recommend that if you can, you make higher payments through. Sorry guys, I was getting a phone call there. But anyway, I recommend that you try to pay that truck off sooner if you can. If you can't, it is what it is. But you can't, it is an option. And by doing so, by paying that truck off sooner, you are going to minimize your interest that you're paying. So now let's get into the actual price, because this is really important. So I called around, or didn't call around, I went on websites of 3 dealerships, one in Joplin, I believe, one in St. Louis, and the one in Springfield. Submitted the inquiry and figured out what they're asking for a 579 Ultraloft Peterbilt 2022, and the price was ranged between 167 and 169. Now that's asking price. That's what they're asking right on the website. So it doesn't necessarily mean that that's what they're going to get. You could, of course, go in and try and negotiate. Now, I will say that with the shortage of trucks, you're probably not going to be able to negotiate. You don't, as the consumer, as the buyer right now in this market, right now that could change. You may be watching this video a year from now, which this is July of 2021. Maybe things have changed. Maybe you as the buyer or as the customer, you have more power and you can go in and say, I want this truck for 160. Maybe you can do that. Right now in July of 2021, you can't do that. Like, they don't even have, they may have 1 or 2 of these on a lot here in Springfield. But I know that my truck is my truck's like, it's going to be like a month late. So it's hard to get trucks right now. You're not going to be able to go negotiate. So basically right now at dealerships, you're going to pay about $169,000 to take a brand new Peterbilt off the lot at a dealership. I did not check with Freightliner, but about $169,000. Okay, so for those saying you're going to get a better deal at the dealership, that's the first thing. The second thing is you're going to have finance charges and all kinds of things to go through a bank to get that loan, and then the bank's going to charge you know their interest fees and all that good stuff. So you can kind of start to piece together some numbers of what you're going to pay if you go directly to a dealership. Now, the prices that you're going to pay through Success Leasing. For a brand new Freightliner through Success Leasing's lease purchase, you're going to pay $164,984. $164,984. That includes a deposit. So if you're pretty new, you're gonna have to pay the full $14,000. For me, right now, I only have to pay $12,000, and then next year I only have to pay $11,000 because it comes down $1,000 per year. Excuse me. For every year that you've been leasing. So you know but that's included. So if you're paying $14,000 down, that's included in the $164,984. So it's not $164,984 plus that $14,000. That includes it. Also, it includes a brand new APU, and an APU is going to cost you about $11,000. So you have to take that into account at a dealership too. If you're going to go pay $169,000 for a Peterbilt at the dealership and you want an APU, you're also going to pay $10,000 or $11,000 for the APU. So you're actually getting more into the $180,000 plus interest, finance charges, bank fees, all that good stuff. Okay, that's included in the price with Success Leasing. So $164,984 includes the APU and the deposit. So outside of the 10.75% interest, you're getting the truck for $164,984 for a brand new Freightliner. For Peterbilt, that total is $161,012. So a couple $1,000, $4,000 less for the Peterbilt. So those are your numbers: $164,984 for a Freightliner, $161,012 for a Peterbilt, and that includes the deposit and the deposit and the APU, and excludes the 10.75% for your interest fee. Sorry, Jen is coming back right now. So anyway, is it really better to go to a dealership? I'm not seeing that. I'm not seeing the math that would support that, because, and in fact, well, I mean, it depends on the interest rate that you could get, if you could get a bank to actually loan you the money to buy a truck. Maybe if you could get an interest rate that's like 3 or 4%, then maybe you're getting a better deal, and that's if you can get that financing. But again, you have to then go get an APU and get that financed in. You're gonna have to pay like $40,000 or $50,000 down, probably, maybe, to go through a bank. So, you know, in my research, I'm just not seeing, I don't see a better avenue. I don't see that it's more financially advantageous to go through a bank and a dealership versus Success Leasing's lease purchase. I think, all things considered, and when you look at all the variables, Success Leasing lease purchase is actually a pretty good deal. And also another thing to consider is that these prices that they gave me for the two trucks, one of the reasons, well, obviously one of the reasons I already mentioned of why trucks are more expensive at dealerships is because they're just in such high demand right now. But the second reason is you have inflation and you have other things that are affecting those prices. They're very fluid, they're variable, they're fluctuating. Whereas Prime has negotiated prices. So for the next year or whatever, the yes, Jenna's cracking her fingers while I'm making a video, which is amazing. I hate the sound of cracking fingers. She's literally sitting there cracking fingers.
Why would you do that?
Why would you do that?
Stop putting it on me. Go away.
So you didn't buy any books? I told everybody you were in the bookstore.
It was overwhelming.
Oh, yeah,
People are still wearing masks in there.
That is overwhelming. So anyway, where was I?
Prime negotiated.
Oh, yeah, Prime negotiates these prices. Now, I don't know. I think they negotiate them annually, but I don't know that. So I'm not going to assert that that's the case. It just
appears they're getting a bulk discount.
Yeah, the fact that this price is the same last month that it was this month, and it'll be the same next month and the next month, tells me that for at least a year, Prime's paying the same amount for trucks. So that's another advantage too, because heck, for all we know, with the shortage and the chips, which is what's causing our truck to be so delayed, it doesn't have a chip. It's just sitting there waiting on a chip. Trucks could be worth, you know, a truck that's listed for $169,000 on a lot in Joplin right now could sell for $185,000 next month, but you're still paying $161,000 to go through Success Leasing. So all that to say, this should squash the link to this video. If you see comments on social media where people say you're getting ripped off by Success Leasing, you don't do a lease purchase, it's a total rip off, go to a dealership.
Success Fleecing.
Yeah, Success Fleecing, all this crap. I did my research, guys. I looked, like I said, 3 dealerships, St. Louis, Springfield, and Joplin. Not one of them beats the price that we pay for the truck through Success Leasing. And yeah, you got the 10.75% interest rate. That's high. It's gonna hurt. But there's no credit check. There's no $40,000 down. You can pay it off early. It includes the price includes the APU, which you keep. That's your APU. So when the truck is yours, it's all yours. I don't see that it's easily a better deal to do it outside of Success Leasing. I think this is a good deal. So anyway, we're gonna go meet some friends.
We're gonna have tacos.
Yeah, we're going. Is it Tuesday? No, it's Thursday. Well, it's Taco Thursday. We're going to get Mexican food with some friends, and then tomorrow get back to work on the studio and get some things caught up around the house and go from there. Anyway, guys, be safe, make good decisions, and as always, drive to thrive. We'll talk to you soon.